Okay, we're talking about one of my favorites today, the KitchenAid mixer. I don't think there's a finer mixer out there. It's been my go-to for many years, especially for these delicious cupcakes. We're going to make these sky-high cupcakes that are best-selling jumbos, and they're crunchy on top and delicious. Here's the mixer in itself. The actual mixer is beautiful. It just sits on the cabinet, doesn't have to go anywhere. It's aesthetically pleasing. It's something that you absolutely want to look at every day, especially in the red. I happen to love the red. It does come in other colors. We have a stainless steel bowl and the actual mixer itself. On the side here, we see those controls that say 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. That is your mixing speed. Just sliding that lever can adjust your speed on the actual mixer. The front part where you see that small little twisting black knob, that is where your pasta attachments would go once you get that. So those are just some mixer basics. Now let's get to baking in this beauty and let's see how she works. Okay, so these are our ingredients and we're going to make those delicious cupcakes. And as you can see, we're not making it from scratch today. We're just going to use the box cake, and here are the ingredients. You need 1 cup of cool water, cool preferably, trust me on that one, 3 large eggs, 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, half a cup of vegetable oil, 1 rubber spatula, the KitchenAid whisk attachment, 1 jumbo cupcake pan, 6 jumbo cupcake liners, and 1 wooden toothpick if you need it, just to test if they're done. So the mixer is clean and it's ready to go. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the whisk to it after I've put my eggs in. Now inside the bowl, I've put my cold water and 3 eggs already inside. And forgive me here because I'm actually holding my phone and I'm filming this. And you feel for the little groove, it will pop in and twist. Make sure it twists and locks and that little blade right there in that whisk is in the divot. Once it goes in, it will just sit exactly where it's supposed to. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to whip these eggs and we're going to get them nice and light and fluffy. I always start with a quick stir and then slowly elevate it so that it gets to the speed that I want it to, but I don't want to let the eggs fly all over the place. I'm just going to let it whisk up nice and fluffy, and this mixer is perfect for doing just that. So I'm going to let that go for a couple of seconds, and as it goes, I'm able to have everything. Now I can't even tell you how much I love this mixer. I have had my mixer for 10 years. Yes, 10 years. It has been on my cabinet every single day since. It is absolutely reliable to make breads with and everything you can think of. I've just added in the vanilla extract, and I'm just going to let that go for a little bit more. Now we're at that nice fluffy whipped texture that I really want. This is a guard. It is a splash guard. Once you start to know your settings, you actually may not even need to use that guard and rely on it quite heavily, but it does have a great feature so that if you're putting flour into the bowl, it makes it a lot easier for you to not get that backlash. And we've all experienced that if we've baked for a while with the whisk kicking it back out. So you put that up there, it will lock in, it will just click right there where I showed you, and I put it on low. Always start on low again. Very slowly add the cake mix into the batter. The key with these cupcakes to make them sky high, it is within the whisking, the cold water, and make sure your eggs are nice and cold. When you take them out of the fridge, that's when you want to actually make this recipe. And also not letting your batter sit. If you let the batter sit in the cupcake paper too long, it will just collapse and it won't come up with that. I found that it's just not as fluffy, just not as high and fluffy. So we're going to let that mix for a bit more, and we're going to really get it going. And I'm going to bump up the speed just to really get them aerated and incorporated quickly. The mixer is absolutely a pleasure to use. and there it goes. And you can notice that the texture is changing. You can notice that there's no more little powder balls in there. And if you need to, you can use a little rubber spatula to get in on the sides. Don't let it get caught in the blade, but you can actually just get it in and scrape the sides of the bowl. Now, while that's going, I am setting up my cupcake pan. I'm using my beautiful rubber protector. That's what I call it. I'm sure it's got a fancy name, but that's what I call it. I just use that to put my pans on. It protects my cabinet from scratches and dings. And to spare you all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I actually put them in just like that. And if you could like and subscribe, I'd absolutely appreciate it if you're getting any joy out of this video. And that is still rolling. Now, we're going to turn that off. Now, the mixer bowl comes out in a very unique way. Make sure that the lock on the side of the mixer is off. Raise up your blade the way that I just did. Disconnect the whisk with a little twist first. You kind of have to push it up, twist, and then it will come off. And you just kind of feel for it. There it goes. Tap it a couple of times just to get the extra off and sit it inside of a bowl on the side. The bowl detaches the same way with a twist. Don't try to lift it straight up. Twist and lift, and it will come out of its seating. And if you look right in there, in the actual mixing base, you'll see the grooves that it locks into. And make sure you clean that little area. Sometimes, little things can get in there. Keep it nice and clean. And I have filled the cupcake papers. Now, I fill them just about, you can see that I leave like maybe a fingernail length of space for it to rise. Sometimes I do go all the way to the brim, but for the purpose of this video, I think that that's sufficient. I let it settle and then go back to the other cupcakes and completely use all of the batter. Now we're going to fill these up, and I have the oven already preheating, and it's already set up and ready to go. So these beauties can go in. And while I put them in, I want to take a moment. My free meal printable planner, 80 seconds. If you're interested, if you're not, you can skip to the next section. This is how I meal plan. I grab a spot that I know is really comfortable, a cup of tea, and I pull out my meal planner. The first page is the monthly meal planner, and beside it is the grocery list for everything that I will need to produce what I want for that first week. The second sheet is actually the menu planner that I can display, that the kids can take a look at, my husband can take a look at. Saves me from having to answer the time-old question of what's for dinner. The third page is my grocery list. It is broken down into all of the different categories of sections in the grocery store, which makes it really easy when I get ready to go shopping, and I love that paper and pencil feel of just checking off the list. So what I do is I go in and I just start to fill in each day and each meal. If you're interested, this is completely free. You can click the QR code. It's a printable. You can print it out as many times as you like. This is something that I do when I'm completely relaxed. I just take my time and think it through, because the last thing I want to do is have to go back and change anything. But again, that's why I put it in pencil. All things are flexible. I hope this really helps you, and check it out. See if it will be a good fit for you and your family. Let's take a peek at our cupcakes and see how they're doing. I normally don't open the door, but for the sake of reflection, and they need a little bit more time, so I'm going to let them go and show you how to clean it. It's very easy to clean this mixer. If it needs wiping down, like you get wet dough on it, just use a simple solution of Dawn dishwashing liquid and a very soft cloth, possibly a microfiber. I use a cotton cloth at all times on it. I dust it down, make sure any loose flour is off of the mixer, and that everything on it looks clean. Like I said, this mixer is 10 years old. This is the way that I've cleaned it. If it needs anything additional, sometimes I may give it a spray of Miss Meyer's and give it an extra little polish, but other than that, that's it. That little attachment right there, make sure there's no dough stuck to it. All right, now I think our cupcakes are done, and we're going to take them out of that oven and see what we've got. Okay, there they are. They're ready, and they are nice and fluffy and high. And like I said, I do sometimes fill them a little bit higher, but when you actually take them out of this, you're going to be able to see the height. These are jumbo cupcakes, and they're absolutely beautiful. I like to get it to where it's a little bit brown. So let's cut and see what we've got. Okay, we've got that little top crust. I happen to love the top crust. That's like my favorite part of the cupcake. So we're just going to do a little slice out of the side so you can see the sponginess, the lightness, and that little whipped texture is mostly due, all due actually, to the beautiful mixer. And it's not a super crumbly cupcake once you actually start pulling it apart. And that's it. Thank you for joining me. I hope you loved the video, and I hope you like and subscribe. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.